no bigger news in an offseason that saw Kevin Durant, with 4 years left on his entire contract, tell the entire front office for the Nets to fuck right off and to provide an ultimatum to Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, to say, it's either me or pretty much everybody below you, and then that standoff not be the biggest thing. The biggest news by far was not Kevin Durant, was not Kyrie, was not the Lakers. Boston Celtics suspending head coach Ime Udoka for the entire season for things we are not really clear about yet. To say that this news came out of nowhere would be an understatement. I saw Ime Udoka at Summer League, asked him to come on the pod. He agreed to come on the pod in July, mid-July, midway through this investigation. And no one knew. He was walking around there, free man. No one knew what was going on. I saw Damon Stoudemire. No hint anything was going on. I saw his assistant, Aaron Miles. No hint anything was going on. I met with multiple people from the Boston TV cast. Nothing. That was 2 months ago. It was a beautiful September full of tranquility. Boston looked great. They had added pieces. Danilo Gallinari, Malcolm Brogdon. They've got their entire rest of their team that they love coming back. Ime Udoka, reinvigorated. And then, this is the bomb. This is the sound of the Woj bomb. And it was just like that. He was gone. Just like that, it's over. You saw the report. You saw the Boston Celtics come out with some random news conferences about how mad they were that random women were being accused of being a part of this salacious scandal. And there are many details that have come out and rumors that I will not get into because I have no clue. I have done a little digging, but I don't know. I have no idea. I have like 3 people who have kind of clued me in on the general sort of scope and framework of how this went down, why it went down, why now. But I don't care to comment on that because it's a sad situation. And truthfully, I ride for my people from Portland, and I am not here to spread any dirty rumors about Ime Udoka because truthfully, they're second, third hand, and I don't know what is true. All I know is that Nia Long is very messy, going on TMZ, saying that she was absolutely shocked and stunned and whatever other adjectives, going on and doing full-on one-on-one interviews with TMZ in the middle of your husband, or no, your fiance of 7 years, getting suspended for the year, probably his career getting just absolutely obliterated. So the whole situation is messy, but particularly Nia Long getting involved, very messy as well. What we do know, though, is this. Boston Celtics. I don't know that many people are framing it like this, but they are on their 3rd coach in 3 years. They become the first coach, the first team since the Showtime Lakers, who fired Jack McKinney after going to the finals when he had his bike accident. And then Paul Westhead. God, it was bad back then. To not have the head coach that took them to the finals there to start the next season. Add that, and you add that to the fact Rob Williams, who probably would have won Defensive Player of the Year last year if he was completely healthy, he's now out 3 months, at the very least, before he can return to basketball activities. Rob had another knee surgery on the same knee that kept him out of some of the playoffs. He didn't like the way that his knee felt, had to get another knee surgery just like a couple of weeks ago. I think maybe last week. Add that to Danilo Gallinari, one of their pickups, who they were very excited about. He's out for the entire season. ACL tear, just like that. Add insult to injury. So Brad Stevens, he gets asked to come back and coach, which would have been an absolute disaster, by the way. Unmitigated disaster. I hear Jason Tatum asked him to come back, and he was like, no. Tries to get Jay Larinaga to come back. This is Here's how toxic things are being perceived. Brad Stevens personally reaches out to Jay Larranaga, the former assistant, who was the runner-up to get Udoka's job, to come in, be the interim head coach, I would imagine. Asked him, hey, would you leave the Clippers to be the interim head coach and return back to Boston to settle some of this shit down? And his answer, I quote, I prefer to stay in L.A. Nah, I'm good. That's like when, it really reminds me, because I would prefer to stay in L.A. is about as classy of an answer as you're going to get. As gentle and like, you know, I would prefer means that there's some sort of ambiguity about whether you have control of your decision, right? It's like when the TSA agent, I've got my little dog in her carrier, and they want to see whether there's enough space inside the carrier for her, and they see her, and they're like, she's growling at the TSA agent. She's snapping at her through the material. And she's like, hey, could you open up the zipper and let her out so I could see her? I'm like, bitch, she will bite your face off. And I'm like, you know, I would really prefer not to. I'd rather not. I'd honestly rather not. And for you, I think you should rather not too. Like, that's the kind of I'd rather not that was. Add another telling detail. Interim head coach to take Ime's spot, Joe Mazzulla, a Brad Stevens holdover. One of the only ones left from his regime. Not Damon Stoudemire, not Aaron Miles, not any of Udoka's assistants that he's known his entire life, who has come over to help him build a championship caliber team in 2 seconds flat. No. Both were passed up in favor of a Brad Stevens holdover. That about tells you everything, folks, that you need to know about what's about to happen to Ime Udoka and the rest of his fucking crew. And I hate to say that. I don't want to make light of it. I mean, these are my guys. I am fucking heartsick over it. Just when we get some good things in Portland. Just like 12 months. I could only get one season of Portland Pride. I was going to get some Boston Celtics gear. Good thing I didn't. Rumors are that obviously Ime Udoka's done coaching probably for a long time. Mazzulla has promised to keep the schematic stuff the same to try to instill some level of consistency for a team that was one of the best defensive groups in the league. Jaylen Brown said this after his first practice with Mazzulla. I think from day one, Joe has set a standard. All of our guys are setting the standard, taking care of the ball, getting to our spots, playing the right way. Just setting an expectation level that we've got to be accountable every single day. Truth is, the Celtics still need to add a coach and are scouring the woods for an experienced assistant to help take the burden off this brand new, 34-year-old head coach. I mean, he's literally younger than Al Horford, this guy. I mean, well, Al Horford's fucking old, but he's very young too. All a work in progress. And still, with all of this drama, the Celtics are the odds-on favorite to win the title. Can you believe that? Plus 500. Do they not know all this stuff? All of the players were shocked. They heard the news when we did on social media. So to recap, top center out for half the season. A guy who is critical for the defensive identity of this team. Another key rotation player out for the year. A new point guard who has a history of always being injured and kind of feeling like if he hurts a toenail, he's going to sit out a few games. A starting power forward who's just shy of 40. So a lack of depth hurts him quite a bit. A scandal and controversy looming over a franchise, over a head coach having a sexual relationship with a member of the team who is gone for at least the entire year, but probably more, and a new head coach interim who has his own little stuff that isn't great. Sounds right to me. Plus 500, yeah. Willing to put my money on this team to win it all, folks. I would totally do that. That makes all the sense in the world, does it not? Start getting ring sizes for Rob Williams. Like, figure it out. Malcolm Brogdon, get your banner. Get your championship party entourage ready. In all seriousness, I think it's going to take a while for this team to get things together. I think that's saying a lot that they will get things together. Things couldn't have gone much worse than last year until the All-Star break when they were one game shy of 500 in January. But boy, is there going to be tumult and a lot of questions. And as more news reports come out, who knows what kind of shit continues to brew.